Hello students, good morning. So today we are going to discuss formula of simple compounds of your chapter Atomic Structure. So in this we are going to discuss that there are various formula of different types of compounds. Like we know, chemical compound has every chemical compound has a specific name. Like if we are talking about hydrogen chloride, we'll write HCl, that is the formula of that compound. If we are talking about hydrogen sulfide, we will write H2S. This is the formula of hydrogen sulfide. And if we are talking about carbon tetrachloride, then the formula of that compound is CCl4. So every compound has their specific name, and these names we will denote by some formula and by symbols. So now describing these compounds in chemistry, these names are repeated quite often. So every time writing the full name is not possible. It is time consuming and inconvenient also. So that is why, and also it does not provide any information about its composition. Like you can see here, if I'll write H2S, it is more convenient, like the valency of sulfur and hydrogen we know by writing H2S. But if you write like hydrogen sulfide, you cannot identify that what are its composition. So that is why, to meet these requirements, each substance is denoted by its chemical formula. Okay, now certain elements and covalent compounds exist as discrete molecules, can be described by their molecular formula. In ionic compounds like NaCl, there is no discrete molecule. Okay, therefore ionic compounds are described by their stoichiometric formula. Now stoichiometric formula is also called empirical formula. These things you will know in the higher classes. Now let's discuss about molecular formula. What is molecular formula? Now let us discuss about molecular formula and empirical formula. So molecular formula, you know that it is a notation of molecule of a substance in terms of symbols and number of atoms of each element present in it is called its molecular formula. Means suppose hydrogen chloride, it is a molecule, so the molecular formula of hydrogen chloride is HCl. So it is a shorthand notation for the molecule of a substance in terms of symbols and number of atoms. It gives us the idea of number of atoms also. Like for an example, as you can see in the screen, molecular formula is written, right? Suppose this is not any chemical compound. I'm just giving you an example. Like suppose this is C24O2 and H60 is just say that it is a formula of any particular molecule. Then the molecular formula will be C24O2 and H60, and its empirical formula will be C12OH30. Can you see it? See, all are even number. If you divide the base ratio by 2, you can get 24 divided by 2, 12, 2 divided by 2, 1, and 60 divided by 2, 30. So this is the empirical formula of a compound having molecular formula C24O2 and H60. This is not a compound. I am again repeating, it is just an example. So empirical formula is what? It is the simplest formula of a substance which gives the lowest whole number ratio, right, between the number of atoms of different elements present in the substances. So is called its empirical formula. Suppose I am giving you more examples of empirical formula. Wait. This is the molecular formula and this one in the right side, it is empirical formula. So P4O10, P2O5, C10H22. So you divide it by 2, you will get 5 and 11. So you'll get C5H11. C6H18O3, you will get that. Like that. Okay, C5H12O, it is not the whole number, the ratio is not fixed, means you cannot take any number to divide this so that you can get a simple whole number ratio. So that is why you'll leave that. N2O4, NO2. So I think it is clear about molecular formula and empirical formula. Now how to write the chemical formula of a compound? See, the chemical formula of any compound is written as, first, the cation and anion you should write side by side. Okay, let the two ions or radicals be side by side in such a way that you will put cation on the left side and anion on the right side. Suppose I am giving you an example of HCl. So you know that, on the left side we have taken basic radical, that is cation, and on the right side we have taken acid radical, that is anion. So now write the valency of the anion at the bottom right of the cation, basic radical, and that of the cation at the bottom right of the anion. Now write at the top hydrogen having valency +1 and chloride having valency -1, chloride. So now we will do crisscrossing the valencies. So it will come here and it will come this side. So now finally you will get the formula of hydrogen chloride is HCl. Suppose I am giving you an example of silver nitrate, another molecule. So silver you will write at the Ag plus on the right side, that is basic radical, on the left side, that is basic radical, and anion, that is nitrate ion having valency -1. This is on the right side. Now you will crisscross the valencies. So you will get AgNO3, silver nitrate. Okay. Suppose I am giving you one more example, that is aluminium sulfate. So aluminium you will write on the left side, this is the basic radical, and sulfate, that is SO4 2-, here 3+, Al3+, ion is the basic radical, we will write this on the left side, and sulfate ion is the acid radical, we will write on the right side. Okay, so now what we will do, we will crisscross the valency. Now you will get Al2SO4. You cannot write here like this 3, right? Because it is not clear that this 3 is with this oxygen, or is with this 4, or is with this sulfur. So that is why we will give over here a bracket. So now we can understand that this 3 is for the whole SO4. So Al2SO4 whole thrice. This is the formula of aluminium sulfate. So I hope that writing the chemical formula you understood. All you have to do is to remember the cations and anions. Means an ion cation, that is basic radical, and anion acid radical. You have to remember this chart. So learn the table so that you can write the formula of the molecules. Like if you can see here, the formula of magnesium nitrate, you have to remember the formula of magnesium. And what is the formula of magnesium ion? Mg2+. What is the formula of nitrate ion? So NO3 -1. So now you can see here, like 2 plus -1, you crisscross it, you will get MgNO3 whole twice. Correct? So like this you can write the chemical formula of the compound if you know the ions, the formula of ions and its charge. Now let's see some examples of the elements having mono Atomicity, diatomic, triatomic and polyatomic. So we know that noble gases generally exist in atomic form because they are stable ion, because they are stable, because they are stable. So that is why they want to stay alone. So that is why they are monoatomic. Now diatomic. You have seen in many chemical reactions that hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen has been always written like this. Like they are always exist in H2. Means one atom of hydrogen reacts with other atom of hydrogen and form H2. So that is why they are diatomic molecules. Atomicity means what? You have learned this, right? The number of atoms present in that particular element. So here, how many number of atoms are present? So 2. That is why they are diatomic. Now triatomic. Triatomic molecules. We are going to talk about triatomic molecules. Molecules and elements. We just talk about triatomic molecules. Tell me, what are the triatomic molecules? Those which are having 3 atoms in molecule. So here water molecule having 3, number of atoms is 3. 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. 2 plus 1 is equal to 3, like that. Carbon dioxide, CO2. 1 atom of carbon and 2 atoms of oxygen is equal to 3. So like that. Now tetraatomic. Tetraatomic is phosphorus P4. As you can see, the number of atoms present here is 4. So that is why it is tetraatomic molecules. Polyatomic means many atoms. So here 8 atoms are present. This is octaatomic. 8 means octa. So octaatomic. Sulfur always exists in S8. 8 number of atoms are present. So that is why it is polyatomic molecules. And acetic acid. Here also if you add the number of atoms, you will get 8. So that is why this is also an example of polyatomic molecules. Now you can see here some of the elements and radicals examples are given having valencies 1, 2, 3 and 4. Learn this one. Okay. Now let's move to the valency and the periodic table. Till now I think you have learnt about valency, how to calculate valency. In the previous classes we have learned that how to calculate or identify the valency having a molecule. Like we have learned about N2O5. So nitrogen having +5 valency over there. So like that. So here if anyone will ask that what is the valency of group 1 and group 2. So how you will answer? So you will answer by this. Suppose if these things so you will learn in the higher classes only, but roughly I am going to explain you. Like electronic configuration we have studied here in the class. I don't think we have learned electronic configuration, right? So we will learn that in higher classes, but still see group 1 and group 2 having valency 1 or 2, because the electrons which is present in the outermost means the outermost electrons is 1 or 2. So if in the outermost shell having electron 1, 2 or 3, then that element having valency 1, 2 or 3. And suppose if an element having outermost electron 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8, then its valency, how we will calculate the valency? You will minus by 8. So you will minus the number of valence electrons by 8. Like 8 minus, suppose if an element having 5 number of outermost cell, 5 number of electrons in outermost shell, then 8 minus 5 is equal to 3. So that compound having 3 valency. So you will learn this in the higher classes that the valencies of first 20 elements are either equal to the number of valence electrons or equal to 8 minus the number of valence electrons. That is, you can see here I told you that valence of an element is equal to number of valence electrons when 1, 2, 3 electrons are present in the outermost shell, then directly write without minus by 8. And when more than 4, 5 more than 3, that is 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8, then you will minus it with 8. Okay. So now in terms of the location of an element in the long form periodic table, valency is given by the following formula. Like group 1 and group 2 having valency 1 or 2 respectively. Like lithium having lithium having 1 valency, beryllium belongs to group 2, that is why its valency is 2. Now valency of any element from group 3 and 7a is equal to 8 minus group number. Okay, now as you can see here that how it vary in group and in period. So you can see here that all elements in a group show the same valency. Okay, in group you can see here in group is what? This is a group, this is a group, like this is a group. So from top to bottom it is a group. Take any periodic table and you can easily identify that in a group all elements show same valency. Like for example, alkali metals, that is group 1, having +1 valency, means all the elements present in the group 1 having valency 1. Similarly, all the elements present in group 2 having valency or show valency +2, like that. So this is because all elements of a group have the same number of valence electrons. Okay, now in a period how it vary? The valency of the elements in a period, as you can see here also, period means what? From left to right, group means top to bottom. So from left to right if you will move, you can see easily that first it will increase like +1, +2, +3, +4, and then 1 to 4 it increase and then decreases to 0, like 5, 6, 7 or 0, like that, right? So 5, 6, 7, 8, 0 is there, but if you find the valency, you see that the valency of +1 is directly +1, then +2, +3. Now 4 plus is there, no, so that is why we will minus it by 8. So 8 minus 4, -4, then -3, 8 minus 5, -3, 3 minus 8 minus 6, 2, 8 minus 7, 1. So like that. So first it will increase to 1 to 4 and then it decreases to 0. For example, the valency of the elements of second period vary as follows. Like you can see here the second group, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, like that. This is the second group. First group is what? This is the second period, sorry. First period is hydrogen, and first period is nothing, 2 elements are there in first period, hydrogen and helium. Then the second period, lithium to neon, you can see that the first 1 to 4 increases and then after that it decreases to 0. So like that it vary. The valency of elements of second period vary like this. So here we have finished the chapter. So learn accordingly, learn the chapter, prepare for second assessment test. Thank you.